Okay, so Epic didn't just drop a new season. They dropped a new island, a new loot pool, a new mechanic, a John Wick, and a controversy, all before we finished downloading the update. Chapter 7, Season 3, Runners. We're going through all of it. Weapons, the new Sprite system, Battle Pass, the drama that's already ensuing, and at the end, I'm gonna slap a rating on this, from unplayable to you need to grab the homies. Let's run it. What's good? It's American Nitrous. If you're new here, I play way too much Fortnite so that you don't have to. I'm going to tell you straight whether you should pick this up, play it, download it, update it, or you should go outside and touch some grass instead. Quick context for anybody who blinked and missed it, we got a brand new season in the name Runners. Started June 6th and it runs through August 21st. It landed right after that fantastic live event where it kind of mixed up and demolished the entire Ice King Foundation storyline. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, you should go check those videos. Here's the wild part. Epic took the existing island, threw it away. Remixed is so hard it basically plays like a new map. We've got things like Cluster Coast and a new POI. Yeah, that's the one with the giant rubber duck. And the 0 points basically floating in the middle of the map. We've got Heatwave Harbor returning and all kinds of stuff that's happening. My first impression? I always love it when there's something new. I'm super happy that they always keep things fresh and that they're adding things consistently. It's a great time when I get to play something and it feels a little bit more fresh despite the fact that it's the same game that I'm still playing after all of these years. Alright, let's get into the loot. First, the loot pool basically got rebuilt. Here's what's new and what came back. So we're going to start with the new stuff. The Chaos Reloader Assault Rifle. This is my favorite new weapon that they've added to the game. It's the headline gun. It's built based off of the same chaos energy that the Reloader shotgun is, and here's the spicy part. It interacts with the fire sprites, so it creates explosions. So the weapon and the new mechanic are tied together on purpose. Then you've got the extending focus shotgun. As you shoot it, the barrel extends and your spread tightens so that your accuracy gets just slightly better. In addition to that, we've got some Battle Pass inspired loot in the John Wick pistol. It's not called that, but that's just what I've been referencing it as. It's called the Lance Head pistol. It's basically like a normal light ammo pistol, but instead of being able to hold the trigger down and just rapid fire, you actually have to pull each trigger and they do significant damage. We've also seen the surgical burst rifle get added. It's pretty powerful and I've used it fairly consistently without even noticing. It's pretty nice and you get like a 3-round burst type of effect off of it. And then between that and the Chaos Exploder rifle, you've got plenty of medium ammo choices for you as well. Coming back into the loot pool, we see a returning list of some old and some new things. First off, the hunting rifle is a pretty good addition to this. We get some people with some nice snipe shots happening and things like that. The Striker Pump, the Maven Auto Shotgun, the Ranger Pistol, the Stinger SMG, and now the Chaos Reloader Shotgun is back as well. Me personally, I'm running that Chaos Rifle, the Assault Rifle, and behind it I'm running that John Wick pistol. It's just a great 1-2 combo and it just can't be beat in the current meta. Now we're going to go over the mechanics. This is where the Runners stops being new guns, same game. This is where we start to add some brand new effects and brand new things that you have to think about while you're moving. Mechanic 1, the extraction layer. Now, this hasn't been added yet, but we've heard a lot of rumors online saying that you're going to be able to extract at some point at the end of like each match, and that more than one team may be able to do so. But this is just a theory taking effect so far. But with the word extraction in mind, we can also extract sprites. Sprites aren't just buffs in the season, there's a whole extraction shooter element behind collecting them. For me, it felt a whole lot like Catch 'em All with Pokemon. And getting Sprite Dust is very advantageous for purchasing and getting things upgraded like weapons and other abilities. Movement mechanics have been significantly updated as well. Significant changes only coming in the form of these 7 power boots. They allow you to sort of power slide at boosted rates so that you don't lose speed as you slide. One of the versions of them is actually a legendary pair that allows you to boost infinitely. So it's pretty overpowered, and I think we'll see a couple of nerfs there. I'm personally pretty excited for seeing how this exfil element gets added to it. I don't want this to turn into an extraction shooter, but it's very cool to see that they're leaning into these elements that we're seeing in other games that are popular right now. As far as mechanics go, there have been a few changes that were made last season that still exist this season. One of which being the new fall damage calculations, as well as being able to cancel your glider. You also, in zero build mode, are able to redeploy gliders fairly consistently, and I noticed that especially during this season you can ADS while you're in the battle bus before you drop. Let's go over the sprites. So sprites are the brand new mechanic that have become the soul of the new season. This time we're seeing some big changes from back when they showed up in the beginning of chapter 6. This time you collect them permanently to your account and you level them up as you master them over the course of a season. There are 10 so far, and I personally have only been able to collect, I think, 8 of them. So the other 2 I haven't personally seen, but I've heard some rumors that they are out there and they do exist as of right now. There will be future ones that are going to be released as the season goes on, so we'll see those freshness, upbeat changes as we continue as well. Alright, we've got our tier list here. We're going to go ahead and go through these sprites and kind of talk about what they do. And where I think they rank on this tier list. So, pretty classic tier list here. We're gonna go ahead and start with the more common ones, and then we're gonna work our way up to what I haven't found personally yet. So the first one that I started with was the Earth Sprite. The Earth Sprite is very interesting. As you level it up, it increases your chance of getting rare and rare loot. So it's very cool to start off with. You kind of get some better guns off the bat. If it activates, there's only a chance for it to activate. And for that reason, I think it's going to be an A tier Sprite. It's pretty consistent. It does what it's supposed to, and in my opinion, I think it works very well, especially when you start to level it up. Next, we have the Water Sprite. The Water Sprite engages shield recovery while you're standing in water. So you'll get the same shield recharge effect that you would have when you were standing in like the Slurp Factory water or things like that from past seasons. It's fairly nice. You do have to have water nearby for it, and it only works fairly well once you have it leveled up. For those reasons, I would probably put it in a B tier. The next one, we have the Fire Sprite. The Fire Sprite, once you deal enough damage to one of your opponents while you're attacking them, it will apply burst fire damage to them at that damage threshold. And I think that damage threshold is decreased as you level the Sprite up. However, if an enemy is not at full health, it's fairly easy to eliminate them before that effect happens. So for that reason, I think I want to put it in a B tier, just because sometimes that damage threshold is a little bit too high. Next, we're going to go with the Duck Sprite. The Duck Sprite is interesting in that it also provides a shield recovery effect, but in order to activate it, you have to emote. It's very low at its low levels. I haven't upgraded it any, so I don't know if it becomes more effective. It seems pretty consistent, but I think for right now, the effect is not as good as what I think it needs to be, so I'm going to put it in the C tier. The next one we're going to go over is the King Sprite. The King Sprite is interesting. It increases your pickaxe damage. Now, I don't often use my pickaxe to try and damage anybody, so it's pretty interesting to see that there is a buff to it. Maybe the buff increases it enough that, you know, you might want to eventually, especially if you get it to a high enough level. But for me personally, I'm not going to use it very much. I'm going to put that one in a D tier. The next one is going to be the Ghost the Ghost Sprite here. The Ghost Sprite enables a reload cloak, and what that means is while you're reloading your weapon, you will be invisible for the duration of the reload, and then you'll become invisible once it ends. I think this is pretty useful. It's very situational, but I think it's very useful in a lot of scenarios. I want to put that in the A tier as well. The next one we're going to go over is the Demon Sprite. The Demon Sprite provides Elimination Siphon. That's pretty useful, and it also is very consistent across the board. In addition to that, players are very familiar with that mechanic specifically. Epic has used it before in lots of different formats, and so for that reason I think it's going to be an S tier sprite. Now we have the Dream Sprite. Now I've found one, but I don't quite know how they work specifically. Their descriptions say that as they level, that you get higher and higher rarities of loot, like as a random chance, I suppose, as they level. And I'm not quite sure how it works. And I think it could be useful, but I don't know enough about it. So I'm going to put it in a C tier for right now, but that's just because I haven't had too much experience with it. Now, these last two are ones that I haven't found personally, but I've only seen as rumors in the community. One of them is the Punk Sprite, and we're only going to put that in D tier because nobody seems to know if it exists yet or not. Actually, I might put it back on the bench and just leave it on the bench because we don't know what's going on with it yet. We know it exists, we know it's in the programming files, but we're just not sure where it is or how it is used. There's just not enough evidence for us to be able to determine that yet. And then the other one is the 0 Point Sprite. I personally haven't found it, but I've seen online that it does provide a pretty useful effect. It provides a heal bubble around you. Now, whether this remains stationary or follows you around, I'm not sure. And whether sprinting disables that, I'm not sure either. I haven't used it myself yet. But for now, we're going to put that in the B tier as well because it's going to be fairly situational. That's going to be our Sprite tier list from top to bottom. This is just my opinion. I want to hear down in the comments what you think might be the best Sprite, what you're going to use the most, and what you found experiences with as far as the other ones go. Let me know if you found the Punk Sprite, because we're very curious as to what that one does, and I'd love to be able to figure that out. The Runner's Battle Pass. 800 V-Bucks, about $9-ish. And that's the post price increase number from when they've changed all of their V-Buck pricing, and you will get that 800 V-Bucks directly back as V-Bucks from the Battle Pass itself. So if you spend the 800 and you complete the Battle Pass completely, you'll get that 800 back. You don't make any additional profit off of it. There are some decent ones, and we're going to scroll through the whole Battle Pass here on screen, but I just wanted to point out that there are a few notable points here. The first one is the John Wick skin. It's very cool. I like the pen and ink design for it. I wasn't around when the first couple came out, so it's nice to see something that I can be a part of now that I see it. And his dog as well has been included, and it's fairly easy to obtain. I'll probably make a video later discussing how to get that. Dr. Sloan also returns at some point in the Battle Pass, probably around 50 is when you'll unlock her, and she ties into the lore of the season as well. I'm not going to get into any spoilers right now, but we just wanted to point out that she is there in the Battle Pass. The Guardian is going to be a fully customizable skin, and it does unlock different customization options as you exfil with different sprites. So as they add different sprites in, you'll be able to get new and more customization options for that skin. Final thing to note about the Battle Pass, it's not really a Battle Pass bonus, but there is a launch week bonus that's in effect. 2 launch week bonuses. You want to grab the Battle Pass and get a bonus style for the Dylan skin, and only if you do it between now and the 13th. So if you do it within the first week instead of waiting until the end, you will actually get an additional style for that skin as well. The Battle Pass has also undergone a little bit of a structural change. You don't freely get to pick which path you go down anymore. It's fairly tiered, and you get to pick one way or the other at this point, and then you unlock the other one later. And so that's a pretty interesting change. I don't know why it was made. I don't really see any problem with how it was handled, but as we see, it has been made. Me personally, I have the crew subscription, so I got the battle pass for free. So I think it was definitely worth it for me. I get another John Wick skin, provided that I completed that far, and it'll provide me with some free V-Bucks along the way as well. For those of you who aren't a member of the crew, again, it is about 800 V-Bucks, about $9. So you have to debate for yourself whether that's going to be worth it for you to pick up or not. So, as promised, we've got a controversy already. And the season's barely been live for a whole day yet. The controversy is not the John Wick skin. It's not the price. It's a sidekick. One of the Battle Pass sidekicks or unlockables was based on a Twitch streamer, the Burnt Peanut. Now, I don't want to say anything particularly negative about this creator because I don't really know a lot about them. I don't know. Some of my friends are fans, but I don't know much about them. But they've got a very, very, very significant following and probably makes a significant amount of money doing so. They added a key art adding him to the Battle Pass. Now, he's not a part of the Battle Pass, but he's in like the release art, and presumably as a sprite for this season release. And people started to resurface old clips that were showing some slurs being said. I won't go through what's going on, but things like that. And I watched a couple of them, and it's very interesting. I want to be clear, it's alleged. And obviously we've seen a lot of intense video editing software come out in the last decade or so we want to make sure that this stuff actually happened before we start accusing people. So this is all alleged. This is not anything that's been confirmed by anybody as of right now. More information may come out in the future as to whether this is true or this isn't, but this has become a bit of a problem, and some people are attempting to boycott because of it. And as they began to release the Battle Pass in the season, the sidekick that was going to be him quietly disappeared from the promo materials, and then it hasn't appeared again except for as a customization style for one of the sprites. So I'm assuming it still is a sprite, but it hasn't like been official or anything yet. Epic also has not made a comment yet, so we don't know what's happening really. This is just kind of speculation at this point, but it is being talked about a lot, and so it's worth noting that this has already happened and it's only been about 24 hours. Got all of the nasty stuff out of the way, let's get into playability. How does it actually play? Here's the honest read. This is a jam-packed update. This is huge. I mean, we would expect this at a chapter turn, not a season turn, and instead we're getting almost a complete chapter refresh in one season. I think it's very, very playable. I think a lot of the returning weapons are fan favorites for sure, and I think that a lot of the new weapons are going to become fan favorites in the near future, and we're just scratching the surface. We know that Epic likes to update these games on a week-by-week basis, and we may see more things get added or removed to the loophole as we go along. I think this is going to be a very interesting play, and it's going to keep me very interested for many weeks to come. Alright, time for the verdict. Here's my scale. We're going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being unplayable. 2 being a solo queue only. 3, it's mid. 4, worth getting your squad together. Or 5, go grab the homies, let's play. And for me, Chapter 7 Season 3 runners, I think it's a 4. I think it's worth a squad session. I think it's definitely worth people hopping on and playing. It's brand new. It feels fresh. All of the mechanics feel very interesting. And the core feeling of Fortnite is still there. I don't think it's perfect by any means, and there certainly have been some drawbacks already. But I think it's a very, very solid start for just the beginning of the season. Well, that's runners. I want your take on this, though. Let me know what the exfils are turn out to be like once that update comes. Let me know how you feel about the current weapon pools and the sprite situation, and let me know what your opinions are on all of the controversies that are occurring. Until next time, though, this is American Nitrous, and hit that subscribe button if you want to find more. Thanks for watching.